Alright guys, back in a video, and this time we're going to do something a little different. We're going to talk about whether a card is undervalued or overvalued, and I'm going to point out whatever card I'm speaking about at the time, and then I'm going to just say it and then give a little explanation if I feel it's necessary. But before we get into this and have this little fun little segment, I want you guys to take a moment to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, like this video, and comment below which card you feel as if it's undervalued and what card is extremely overvalued. Now, typically, cards right now are not overvalued for the most part unless they're like newer. But even then, a lot of the cards in the summertime are super cheap due to the fact people are not focusing on buying cards. We're kind of in between the time before Nats, and there's not many events, and then we have people on vacations and would rather focus on things like that, and then preparing for Christmas. And then when Christmas comes, people get all their surge of money, and stimulus is going to come again probably. Then we're going to have a surge in card increase. So we'll talk about a little more of that throughout the video, and we're going to talk about recent sets, and then we're going to go over SPRs and a little bit about we're going to basically discuss whether or not how I feel about the current price in the SPRs and stuff like that. But let's go ahead and get started. So the first three cards, Goku and Frieza, kind of undervalued for the long run, but currently about where it should be for its hype. The Gogeta Kai Secret Rare, it's probably overvalued for the long run. Its card probably will tank after another Green SCR comes out, so keep that in mind. There are a few options, and it is a very good card for unisons and stuff like that, so it's a good card, but I don't know if it deserves to be $128. Market price $120, low as $128, so you take that as you wish. Super 17, good yellow card, but I feel like they're just going to continue to make better generic secret rares, even though this card is pretty strong. But Supreme Kai Time does overshadow this card a bit, so overvalued for those two. These three right here, I would say they're all around the price they should be at this time point, but in the long run, these are not. These are okay, playable and collectible cards. Ocean's more playable than anything. In the long run, it will probably go down in price, but it is very good. SR is not very easy to pull, so in the long run, if you're like within the next year playing, this is probably a good price to get this card. Right now. Then you have Divine Presence Goku. This is a collectible card in my eyes, and will probably continue to go up in price as U7 is very popular. So just about where it should be currently. It did increase in price recently, but in the long run, probably undervalued if this set continues to be expensive because of the top-heavy stuff, and this will eventually go up to match the price point of the value of the box, which is insane currently at $112. Which I don't think the box should be worth that much whenever there's only one card, or two cards technically worth more than the box. So be careful buying product, unless you're just doing it to open packs. This is for Gogeta. This is probably undervalued in the long run due to just art, period, and collectability. The rest of the set, other than a few cards, is going to tank, in my opinion. Maybe the only card I see the only few cards that I see going up in price, this Gohan 1-drop, Ultimate Essence SPR, and Calamity Challenger SPR, and potentially the Spirit-bound Goku is probably going to go up. The rest of the cards, for the most part, are probably overvalued because of how massively open the set is and the fact that everyone's just polling and listing on the internet. But maybe there's a good price point to get it if you need these cards now, because they are pretty cheap. Other than that, the rest of the set is pretty bad price-wise. This is undervalued SPR, depending on how the format goes, but 19K unison with 5 markers on it when the first time you play it. Pretty decent card, so really undervalued. Really undervalued Calamity Challenger. All the Calamity Challenger cards in this set are super undervalued. I wish I could go even more in detail, but these cards are just super cheap. I feel like they're super undervalued. The rest of the set is about where it needs to be. Spring Rivalry. I feel like this set is pretty accurate for its value. Gohanks may get power creep, but the card is super good for red decks. Undervalued in my opinion for how good this card is. And it's a super cool looking card. And these cards in general just look amazing together, so I feel like they're undervalued as a trio. Just putting the three together, it looks really nice and collectible. So, undervalued. Collector Buster, overvalued in the long run, but great price for the current moment. This card may be hindered in the future for playability due to the fact they may touch the card, but just because of how good it is. But I wouldn't worry too much about that right now. In the long run, this is a good buy, around 20 bucks, and then you will have a really good card if you're actually using these. But I told everybody around me this card was too cheap when it was $6. So I'm glad I got my set when it was $6 to $10. I did pull some of them, so I was lucky there. Not a lot of people pulled this card locally. Majin Buu Unison, perfect example of a card that will probably go up in price later on. This is just a super good staple, and it's very attractive SPR. These SPRs in general, right here, undervalued. This is probably a good price for this card in general, just because it's not an SPR, but it's a cool art Vegeta card. Basically, this whole set is undervalued for the long run because unless they power creep all these cards, these are all good staples. Like everyone posted, you see currently, is a good staple for their archetype. Cooler SP. This card's way undervalued, in my opinion. This card's finally getting the love it deserves. It was around $4. I knew it was too cheap. I have like 5 copies. This card's super good. And it's just an iconic scene. And the one card I really want to talk about that's super undervalued, I've talked about it before in my deck profile, but this card is $1.50 plus shipping. They're like, you don't get to a wall of anything valuable until $3.99 for like 15 copies from Core TCG. So getting this card for under $4 right now while you can is super good idea, because this card's super good in yellow. 3-drop, and it helps Spirit Boost. Even though you're not increasing markers, it's hard to remove the markers because nobody really wants to attack at it. And if they do attack at it, that's just good for you anyways, because you just play another one the next turn, and they don't want to keep attacking the 20k unison and having a combo card just to get rid of it. So it's a super good card, and it's just going to continue to see play until they out-power creep this one. But yeah, and it's SPR Trunks. I love Trunks. Undervalued right here, Supreme Kai Time. Best STR in the game currently. That and Hatchiyak. Baby Hatchiyak, that is. Not every card is going to be pictured in this video, but if you guys like this video, smash the like button and comment below how much you enjoyed this type of discussion. And I want you guys to discuss in the comments. I want to see the love. I want to make sure that you guys enjoy these type of videos, because a lot of times these videos don't get that much feedback. And the more you guys like and comment, the more it makes me want to use these videos, because they'll get more traction. If I post this video and I only get like 10 views, it's not very good for channel growth, and that's what I'm trying to grow and at least hit 3,500 subs. It's only 27 away, I think, but it's not too hard to do. But I believe in you guys. Show the video some love if you really enjoy this type of conversation. But Majin Buu is a good card for King Cold. It is like basically the only expensive card in the deck, so I can see this card still going down to around 110 range. It is a secret rare though, from set 12, and the boxes are $100 a piece. So Pycon is not that crazy good. So but it's good for Bojack. So that's a decent meta deck. You see his market price is tanked all the way from 100 to 70. At one point it was around 50. So this card may go down to $60. So a little overvalued in the long run because it's not that iconic of a scene or character. Piccolo Jr. Unisons. Both of these are super good cards. In the long run, I'm not sure if they're going to ban this card or anything, but this is a good price point to have this card. I would get the SPRs rather than the SRs. These are probably going to be the ones that tank. SPR Gogetas, SS3. The card's going to go up in value. The SR currently is more expensive, or just as expensive, and that's just not right. Launch Pure Hearted in the long run. This card it just got revealed in the collector's thing. I'm pretty sure that's the new collector rare version that just got spoiled. But this card is going to go up in price in the near future due to the fact that launch is going to be more popular. If you guys don't understand, this deck is super good against the meta, so I would get launch SRs while they're under $4 a piece, because they're not very easy to pull. Frieza and Cell and this Goku SPR super cheap for what they are. Look at the scene, look at the art and the scenes. Really good cards for collectability. And the Frieza Cell is really good for Vegeta decks. If you guys want to look into that, my teammate has been doing well with it. And that's pretty much everything for this set. Even though the Gogeta Godspeed will probably go up in the long run due to just how nice it is. And Whis, a Helping Hand, super undervalued, good card for Whis decks. The Whis deck is not a joke. That deck is pretty strong. And that's pretty much it for this set. And if you don't have foil copies of like True Fighting Spirits and stuff like that, it may get an event pack later on, so I wouldn't be too worried about those values. To the SPRs in general. To sum this as a whole, because I did like a practice run looking through these earlier, everything on the first 3 pages is undervalued. The market prices are above the current price point for almost every single card, or have very low listings. So I think that these specifically, and let me see if I can pull up the other ones. So signature rare, because they're separated for some reason. These cards are all undervalued. Maybe Gohan is a little overvalued for the current moment, but signed cards in general are just going to go up over time. They went up recently. I mean, last year, earlier. No, it was this past year. They went up, skyrocketed. But in the long run, these cards will go up in price even more due to no reprints. The dip is right now, so buy the dip. Every SPR currently shown, whether it's for playability wise or collectability wise, mainly collectability wise, unless you're talking about the super combos and stuff like that. Those are collectible. Those are playable cards that you would want to have for your decks. Like, these cards are too cheap for what they are for the most part. Maybe not this one and a few others, but they're still collectible cards. I feel like they're super undervalued until you get about right here. Some of these are not as collectible in my opinion, but that's just due to me not caring about the cards. Special class of SPRs cheap right now. Like, this is $12. This is way too cheap. The SSB Vegeta SPR, super epic scene with Goku and Vegeta in the background, gonna obviously go up. So if you guys are investing for the long run for collectibles, like, these cards are too cheap. Like, the winter version is about the same price as this one. Same for Cooler, the SPR. But yeah, if you're not really looking to play, these SPRs on these, almost everything, in my opinion, is too cheap. Other than maybe a few of these. Like, especially, like, look at this. SS4 Goku, $7? Even without a reprint. Even with the reprint coming. This card in first edition, $7 is way too cheap. A case of set 11 is like over $1,000. And you're telling me I have to pay over $1,000 to get a sealed case to get my chance at pulling like 2 of these and seeing if they're in good condition? Nah. Like, I feel like these are way too cheap. Invest in the low end, like, harder to get, like iconic character SPRs. Like, some of these, like, obviously are not that cool in my opinion because they're not cool characters. Like, this is a recent SPR and it's $4, and it's a good card. So if you're playing, it's a good card. But if you're not playing, this is, if you like Videl, $4 is cheap for a really nice SPR Videl. And they're textured foil. This is something these collectors don't understand. The full arts you guys love so much in Pokemon, these are just as hard as to get, and typically they look better. Like, there are a few Pokemon cards I can say that I really love more than some Dragon Ball cards. But most Dragon Ball cards' quality is just super nice. So for you Pokemon collectors, Dragon Ball collectors, or card collectors in general, these are too cheap, in my opinion. SPRs. Now, I'm not going to go into SCRs in this video, but that might be the next video to discuss what values in the SCRs are too low or too high. But we'll see you guys in the next Market Watch type-ish video. And smash that like button, comment below once again, and I'll see you guys in the next deck profile video. Check me out on Patreon for PPG. Shout out them. And make sure you check out the links in the description. They help me out a lot. And support my boy Jordan if you need any graphic designs. See you guys in the next video again. Deuces.